You grow up in a one-bedroom apartment above a discount pharmacy. The place smells like bleach and expired cough syrup. Sweet, chemical, rotting at the edges. Your mother counts pills for $12 an hour. Metal on metal. The spatula hits the tray. Again, again. The rhythm of survival. You learn early that medicine is math. 30 tablets per bottle, 100 bottles per case, 6 cases per pallet. A pallet weighs 480 pounds, worth $42,000 wholesale, worth $190,000 when people start panicking. You don't want to save lives. You want to understand margins. You sit at the kitchen table with a second-hand laptop, Excel sheets open, conditional formatting, inventory turnover ratios. You track expiration dates for fun. Other kids memorize sports stats. You memorize NDC numbers. National drug codes, 11 digits, labeler, product, package size. You learn which antibiotics spike every winter, which oncology drugs vanish when a single factory shuts down in Ohio, which insulin brands get back-ordered when hurricanes hit Puerto Rico. College is loans, $86,000 by graduation, supply chain management degree, honors. You think competence is currency. You get hired as a pharmaceutical distribution analyst, $58,000 a year, beige cubicle, fluorescent lights, air smells like burnt coffee and printer toner. You forecast shortages 6 months out. Nobody listens. You send memos about an oncology injectable sourced from a single plant in India, political unrest, export restrictions coming. You attach charts, risk probabilities. Management replies with a thumbs-up emoji. 3 months later, hospitals scramble, patients wait, prices triple in the gray market. You realize something. The shortage isn't chaos, it's opportunity. You don't enter the black market through a back alley. You enter through a spreadsheet. A hospital buyer calls you after hours, voice tight, desperate. We need 400 vials of doxorubicin. We'll pay above contract. You check the database. None in primary distribution. But you know something they don't. Secondary wholesalers. Small companies licensed in multiple states. They buy surplus inventory from clinics, closeouts, bankruptcy auctions, overstock from rural hospitals. You have access to their feeds. You build a shadow list. Who has what? How much? At what price? You make a call. You broker 400 vials at $180 each. Hospital pays $310 per vial. Margin, $130. Total spread, $52,000. You take 12%. $6,240 for 2 hours of phone calls and 3 DocuSign contracts. The room smells like ozone from your overheating laptop. Your palms are slick. You don't hesitate. The cut is quick. You tell yourself it's redistribution, market efficiency. Then, insulin shortages hit. Now the numbers get serious. Retail price, $320 per box. Desperate parents will pay $800 cash. You structure shell companies in Delaware. Filing fee $300 each. Registered agent, $125 a year. You open 3 LLCs. One buys, one sells, one consults. The hierarchy isn't about respect, it's about math. You source near-expiration insulin from clinics that overordered. 90 days left on the clock. Technically legal to resell in certain states. You repackage. New labels printed for 14 cents apiece. Thermal printer hums. The smell of warm adhesive fills your apartment. You don't fake drugs. That's sloppy, high risk. You manipulate paperwork. You alter transaction dates. Make inventory look like it moved faster. You exploit a loophole in state pedigree laws. Electronic track and trace systems aren't fully integrated yet. Serialization compliance is delayed. You move product across state lines where price caps differ. California caps reimbursement. Texas doesn't. You route shipments through a small distributor in Nevada. No price transparency reporting. FedEx priority overnight. $62 per box. Insurance declared at half value. You learn which regulators audit quarterly and which audit annually. Junior inspectors cost $2,000 in consulting fees, not bribes. Consulting, paid through the LLC that never touches product. You structure deposits under $10,000, $9,800, $9,600, different branches, different days. Smurfing isn't just for narcotics, it's for insulin. Money flows. Month 1, $18,000. Month 3, $94,000. Month 6, $312,000. You buy a charcoal suit, Italian wool, $2,400. It smells like cedar and ambition. You lease a black S-Class, $1,850 a month. The leather is cold and smooth under your fingers. You move from the apartment above bleach and cough syrup to a condo with floor-to-ceiling windows. The city looks small from up here. Hospitals call you directly now. You're not listed in any directory, but you always
Your phone
answer.
vibrates at 2:13 a.m. Different time zones, different emergencies. Cancer doesn't sleep. Paranoia isn't a condition anymore. It's a job requirement. You encrypt everything. Proton mail, PGP keys, two-factor authentication on devices that never touch your personal Wi-Fi. You keep burner phones in a drawer, 6 of them. Plastic smell, factory fresh. You track lot numbers obsessively. One counterfeit vial slips into your chain from a third-tier supplier in Florida. Packaging slightly off, font kerning wrong by a hair. You catch it, barely. You blacklist the supplier. You pay a private lab $4,000 to test random batches. Spectrometry reports arrive in sterile PDFs. You trust no one. The silence is worse than the noise. When your phone doesn't ring, you assume regulators are building a case. You hire a lawyer on retainer. $15,000 up front, another $5,000 monthly. He tells you you're operating in the gray. Gray turns black fast. You stop visiting your mother. She asks what you do now. Consulting. She nods, doesn't understand. The room still smells like bleach and old carpet, metal on metal from the pharmacy downstairs. You can't explain arbitrage in a shortage economy. Normal people look fragile, predictable. They worry about gas prices. You worry about DEA audits and FDA Form 483 inspection reports. You attend industry conferences under an alias. You shake hands with executives who publicly condemn price gouging. Privately, they offload surplus to you at 60 cents on the dollar. You're useful. You are not an employee. You are an asset. Assets don't resign. A venture capital firm approaches you. They know, not everything, enough. They offer to legitimize your model, acquire your network, integrate into a larger platform. You decline, too visible. Then you see him at a conference, early 30s, sharp suit, no fear in his eyes. He talks about blockchain serialization, real-time shortage analytics, predictive demand modeling. He sounds like you 5 years ago, a younger model waiting to deploy. He doesn't need shell companies. He builds an app that connects desperate pharmacies directly to surplus clinics, transparent fees, clean branding. He raises $40 million in Series A funding. Your phone rings less. Hospitals sign contracts with his platform. Regulators praise innovation. You tighten margins, take riskier deals. You source oncology drugs from overseas brokers now. Canada, Turkey, Singapore. Importation is tricky. You forge customs classifications, declare as diagnostic reagents. lower scrutiny. A freight forwarder charges you $3,800 per pallet, cash discount. The warehouse smells like dust and diesel. Forklifts beep in reverse, metal on metal as pallets shift. You stand there in your expensive suit, watching shrink-wrapped hope move across concrete. You're making more money than ever. You're also exposed. It starts small. An audit notice. Routine, they say. FDA wants transaction histories, lot-level traceability, supplier verification records. You send curated documents, clean trails, nothing overt. Then, a hospital reports an adverse reaction tied to a batch you brokered. Not counterfeit, mishandled. Temperature excursion during transit. Insulin degraded. Cold chain breach. You check logs. The Nevada distributor skipped a refrigerated transfer to save $600. $600. A patient ends up in intensive care. The noise is deafening now. Lawyers, regulators, reporters sniffing around. Your lawyer's voice is calm. Cooperate. Limit exposure. The venture-backed competitor issues a statement about safety and transparency. Stock price rises. You get a call from one of your secondary wholesalers. He's flipping. Reduced sentence in exchange for names. You calculate. Legal defense if indicted, $1.2 million minimum. Potential forfeiture, everything. You consider running. No extradition treaty in certain countries. You've researched it before, out of curiosity. Curiosity becomes planning, but you hesitate, because you understand something now. The hierarchy isn't about respect, it's about math, and the math says you're replaceable. Regulators freeze your accounts. $2.7 million inaccessible overnight. Your S-class gets repossessed. Quietly, efficiently. Metal on metal as the tow hook locks in. You sit in your condo. Empty shelves. The air smells like stale air conditioning and fear. The silence is worse than the noise. You scroll through news articles about pharmaceutical price gouging, politicians on camera, angry speeches. They never mention you by name. You're a footnote, an independent broker under investigation. Your younger competitor expands into Europe. He hires compliance officers, builds a compliance department bigger than your entire operation ever was. He integrates temperature sensors with blockchain logs. He makes your model obsolete, a younger model waiting to deploy. You take a plea. Wire fraud, misbranding, conspiracy to distribute misbranded drugs. 30 months. Federal facility. White walls. Institutional soap smell. You calculate commissary margins for fun. You hear rumors inside about others running similar schemes, different drugs, same mechanics. You realize something as you stare at the ceiling at night. You never controlled the system. You surfed it. Drug shortages continue. Factories still shut down. Hurricanes still hit. Pandemics still spike demand. The cycle doesn't need you anymore.
That's a wrap for today. The story you just heard is fiction, but the pharmaceutical gray market is real. The secondary wholesaler arbitrage and supply chain loopholes are real. And somewhere right now, a kid with a spreadsheet is starting the cycle again. If this one made you think, drop a comment with your biggest takeaway. Subscribe for more deep dives. See you in the next one.